She was worried about killing herself.
And did she get any help from the suicide hotline?
She was turned away.
How about the second time she called the suicide hotline?
She was turned away.
How about when she went to the Women and Infants program in Rhode Island?
They told her she was not a good fit for the program.
Why?
Because she was overly medicated.
Tense questioning about faith, family relationships, and alleged failures in treatment marked another bombshell day of testimony in Lindsay Clancy's murder trial. Testimony entered its 15th day on Tuesday in the trial of Clancy, the Massachusetts mother accused of murdering her 3 young children by strangling them before attempting to take her own life. Yesterday, the jury heard chilling details from those closest to Clancy, including her mother, sister, and former colleagues. They testified to a rapid, terrifying shift in her behavior, describing severe insomnia, suicidal ideation, and intrusive thoughts of harming 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan in the months before the killings. As the defense continues arguing Clancy was suffering from undiagnosed postpartum psychosis, more witnesses have taken the stand. Day 15 brought a crucial blend of personal family history and high-level medical analysis. Jurors first heard from Patrick Clancy's mother, Susan, who recalled Lindsay begging for help as her mental health deteriorated in late 2022. The defense then called psychiatrist Dr. Donald Condy to break down Lindsay's clinical history and severe postpartum symptoms, before former Rhode Island Chief Medical Examiner Dr. Elizabeth LaPosada testified via Zoom, analyzing the forensic evidence and physical injuries surrounding the tragedy. Here's everything you may have missed from day 15 of the Lindsay Clancy trial. Taking the stand, Lindsay's mother-in-law, Susan Clancy, a labor and delivery nurse familiar with postpartum conditions, described a close family bond, testifying that she saw the couple and their children multiple times a month. She called Lindsay a wonderful, very nurturing mother who loved her kids deeply. Susan testified that everything shifted by late 2022, several months after Callan was born, recalling the moment a desperate Lindsay reached out with warning signs of a rapidly deteriorating medical condition.
She reached out to me in November and told me that she felt unwell.
Did she describe any symptoms for you?
She did.
Tell the jurors what she said.
She felt, mostly she had insomnia. She was losing her appetite. She was very anxious and sad.
Did she tell you that she was seeing doctors?
Yes.
And at some point, did you recommend, did she come to you and ask you for help regarding seeing a doctor?
Yeah, she asked for my support.
And did you obviously gave it to her?
Yes.
The mood in the courtroom turned tense during cross-examination, leading to an immediate sidebar after Prosecutor Shannon Buckingham questioned Susan about her religious beliefs, asking if she was aware, as an active Catholic, that murder is considered a mortal sin.
Now, are you an active member in the Catholic Church?
Yes.
Okay. So you're aware that murder is considered a mortal sin?
Yeah, Counsel, could I see you over here?
Following Susan Clancy's testimony, the defense turned to its medical experts, calling psychiatrist Dr. Donald Condy to the stand. Reviewing Lindsay's treatment records, Condy detailed her worsening mental state and told the court that despite reaching out for crisis support, she was repeatedly turned away from higher-level inpatient psychiatric care.
She called the Aspire hotline, I believe, on 2 occasions.
And was she given any help by the Aspire hotline?
I believe the records say that she was told by Aspire that since she did not have a suicide plan, she did not require what's called a higher level of care, meaning an inpatient admission.
So she basically had been to Nurse Gelada. She had contacted Aspire on 2 occasions. She went to Rhode Island Hospital on a recommendation the day after she was recommended to go there, and left after not being accepted. After calling the suicide hotlines, things got to the point where she and her husband went to an emergency room. Is that right?
Yes.
And did she get treatment at the emergency room?
I believe the first time that she went to the Mass General emergency room, they recommended that she considered an admission at McLean, but she and her husband decided that they did not want her to go inpatient at that time.
On cross-examination, prosecutors pushed back, pointing out that Condi never personally treated Lindsay, specializes primarily in youth care, and relied on medical records rather than police reports. But the defense countered by pressing Condi on critical gaps in her treatment, highlighting how providers failed to run basic blood work for physical complications like thyroid inflammation, which can trigger severe postpartum psychiatric symptoms.
Checking hemoglobin levels is important. The thyroid can be affected by delivery of the baby, and some women in the postpartum period develop inflammation of the thyroid. The thyroid is a very important gland that regulates many parts of the body.
Is that why many times when a competent psychiatrist is treating a patient that is postpartum after having a baby, that they might run, and I may be wrong saying it, but a thyroid test?
They would do most commonly two different kinds of thyroid tests. They would test for thyroid stimulating hormone, which goes up when the thyroid hormones that also can be tested for actually go down. So thyroid stimulating hormone is telling the body, make more thyroid hormone because there's not enough in the circulation.
Did Tufts ever use a blood test at all in her treatment?
No, she did not.
Did Tufts ever check the thyroid levels of Lindsay Clancy at all during her treatment?
No, she
About,
did not.
about gelada? Did they test any of those things?
No, Nurse Gelada did not do blood testing either.
Rounding out the defense's expert evidence, clinical and forensic psychologist Dr. Paul Ziesel testified on Lindsay's psychological evaluation. Pushing back against any suggestion that she was feigning symptoms, Dr. Ziesel recounted what Lindsay told her husband, Patrick, during her very first phone call with him after the killings, describing the male voice that commanded her to act.
She was not faking. There was no evidence of any malingering. She presented as an honest citizen. She was unable to express a lot of emotion, but she expressed love for him. And she had said that she heard a male voice ordering her, telling her that she didn't have any choice, but she had to kill her children and then kill herself.